Dear students, good morning to one and all. Previous classes we will detailedly discuss about the characteristics in algae, characteristics in bryophytes, characteristics in pteridophytes. Today we are going to discuss about the characteristics in gymnosperms. Dear students, these are plants, includes plant kingdom, Now let us discuss about the characteristics in gymnosperms. The gymnosperms are plants in which the ovules are not enclosed by any ovary or and remain exposed both before and after fertilization. Dear students, the gymnosperms are plants in which the ovules are not enclosed. The ovules or the seeds are not enclosed by any ovary wall, and remain exposed both before and after fertilization. Okay, now once again, the gymnosperms are one type of plants in which the ovules or the seeds are not enclosed by, not covering by, or not enclosed by any ovary wall or any fruit wall, but remain exposed both after and before fertilization. Next, coming to in this gymnosperms are derived from two Greek words. The first Greek word gymnos by means naked or not covered. Second Greek word sperma by means seeds or ovules. Next, coming to the seeds or the ovules that develop post fertilization are not covered, that is naked. Okay, now before the fertilization, the zygote, the ovule, after fertilization to become zygote can be embryo, ovary can be fruit, ovule can be seeds. So here those seeds that develop post fertilization, that is after fertilization. Before fertilization, that is free fertilization. Okay, now free fertilization events by zygote, ovules, ovary. After fertilization, that is post fertilization events embryo, seeds, fruit wax. Next, coming to gymnosperms are embryophytic, very well developed embryo, tracheophytic, very well developed vascular tissues such as xylem elements and phloem elements, archegoniate, well developed female sex organ, that is archegonia, would be two or more archegonia, that is archegoniate, and phanerogams. These are flowering plants or seed bearing plants, that is phanerogams. But here in bryophytes, in algae, in pteridophytes, three are cryptogams. Okay, now in algae, in bryophytes, and in pteridophytes, both are cryptogams, that is non-flowering plants or flowerless plants. But here in gymnosperms and coming to in angiosperms, both are phanerogams, that is flowering plants. Okay, now and also spermatophytes, that is seed bearing plants. Next, coming to, they include medium sized trees and tall trees and shrubs. In generally, gymnosperms all are some of them shrubs and some of them medium-sized trees and some of them are here tall trees. Especially one of the gymnosperms, that is a redwood tree. That is redwood tree. Common name Sequoia. Common name Sequoia is one of the tallest tree species. Is one of the tallest tree species. In generally, gymnosperms all are smaller in size, that is shrubs, medium in size and tall trees. But here one of the gymnosperms, that is a redwood tree, the name Sequoia semifoliescens. Sequoia semifoliescens, but the species Sequoia is one of the tallest tree or largest tree species. Largest tree species. Another hand on here, ginkgo. So dear students, K is silent word. Ginkgo is considered to be a living fossil. Ginkgo is one of the living fossil. Ginkgo is also in gymnospermic plant. Sequoia is also one of the gymnospermic plant. But here that is the largest tree species. Ginkgo is one of the living fossil. Ginkgo is one of the living fossil. So next coming to the morphological characters in gymnosperms. That is the plant body consists of true roots, true stems and true leaves. But here in algae, in bryophytes, the plant body is thallus or thalline. There is not differentiated into true root, true stem and true leaves. But here most of the in pteridophytes and especially in gymnosperms and in angiosperms, the plant body is consist of or is differentiated into true roots, true stems and true leaves. But here mainly developed in pteridophytes, especially adventitious roots. In gymnosperms are developed adventitious roots as well as tap roots, especially to be developed in gymnosperms tap roots. Why? Because some of them smaller trees and some of them are here taller trees, largest trees. So in their larger trees is also well developed tap roots. So dear students, the roots are generally tap roots. But here roots in some genera have fungal association in the form of mycorrhiza, especially Pinus. So dear students, so the Pinus roots is always closely associated with the fungal members in the form of mycorrhiza. In generally, all gymnospermic plants of roots are here taproot system. But here in especially Pinus, the Pinus roots is always closely associated within the fungal members. This phenomenon are named as mycorrhiza. Mycorrhiza means myco, fungal member, rhiza means roots. Mycorrhiza is consist of two words. One is myco, by means fungal member. Rhiza by means roots. In Pinus roots is closely associated within the fungal members. This phenomenon is named as mycorrhiza. Okay, now the roots are generally tap roots. Roots in some genera have fungal association in the form of mycorrhiza. Given the example for here Pinus. In gymnosperms, including plant members such as Cycas species, Pinus species, Coniferous species, Cedrus species. But most of the gymnosperm species are here Cycas, Pinus and Coniferous. Cycas, Pinus and Coniferous, especially Cycas and Pinus. So Pinus to be presence of mycorrhiza. Roots are seen in Pinus. Mycorrhiza roots are seen in Pinus species. Next coming to in some others, that is Cycas. So this Cycas have a small specialized roots, that is called coralloid roots. That is coralloid roots. So in generally, so these are the taproot system. But here, so some of the taproots are similar of coralloid like structure, or similar of coralloid like structure, or finger like structure. In some others, that is cycas, so have small specialized roots, that is called coralloid roots. So some of the roots are have the small specialized coralloid appearance, or finger like structure, that is called coralloid roots. So these coralloid roots are associated with the nitrogen fixation. Why? Because can having to some of the cyanobacteria or some of the blue green algae, that is Nostoc and Anabina. So in those coralloid roots are containing one type of cyanobacteria or one type of blue green algae such as Nostoc and Anabina. These are is always to be produced nitrogen fixation. So these are the coralloid roots. In some others, that is cycas, small specialized roots, that is called coralloid roots. So are associated with nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria. Given examples for here, Nostoc and Anabina. So in this time, the cyanobacteria or Nostoc and Anabina are utilized farmers in those of biofertilizer level. Why? Because in those bacteria to be produced atmospheric nitrogen. Next, coming to stem. The stems are unbranched, especially cycas. Cycas stems are not having two branches, growing upright, straight, and aerially. And pinus, the stem is branched. The stem is spread out to several branches. The pinus stem is spread out to several branches. The cycas stem is not spread out to several branches. Okay, now the stems are unbranched, especially cycas. The cycas stems is not spread out to several branches, and branched, that is pinus stem is spread out to several branches. Next, coming to, so in gymnosperms, anatomically the stem shows eustele. So in all angiosperms of dicotyledons, the stem shows eustele, but in all angiosperms of monocotyledons, the stem shows atactostele. But here in gymnosperms, anatomically or internally, the stem shows eustele. By means the vascular bundles are arranged on ring-like structures. So several vascular bundles are arranged on ring-like structure, that is called eustele. This is one vascular bundle. This is another vascular bundle. This is another vascular bundle. Okay, now this is a vascular bundles. These vascular bundles, each vascular bundle containing cambium, and also xylem. This is a xylem, and this is a phloem. So these vascular bundles are arranged in a ring-like structure, that is called eustele. Anatomically, the stem shows eustele. By means, the internally stem shows three parts. First one is epidermis, second one is cortex, third one is stele. So the stele to be presence of protostele, siphonostele, solenostele, dictyostele. In general discussed about the pteridophytes, but here in all gymnosperms and some of the angiosperms, the anatomically stem shows eustele. By means, several vascular bundles are arranged in a ring-like structure, that is called eustele. These are vascular bundles. So these vascular bundles are arranged in a ring-like structure. So and vascular bundles are conjoined open. Conjoined, collateral and open. So this is a conjoined collateral vascular bundles and open by means the xylem and phloem between of the cambium, that is open vascular bundles. Conjoined by means connected by one vascular bundle to another vascular bundle. Collateral, one vascular bundle is lateral to another vascular bundle. Another vascular bundle. That is conjoined, collateral and open vascular bundles. Once again, anatomically the stem shows U-stele. U-stele by means several vascular bundles are arranged in a ring-like structure. That is called U-stele. So U-stele to be present in angiosperms of dicotyledons and in gymnosperms. But in angiosperms of monocotyledons, the stem shows anatomically presence of atactostele. Atactostele means so several vascular bundles are arranged in separately, not arranged in a ring-like structure. Not arranged in a ring-like structure. Several vascular bundles are arranged in separately. Okay, no, that is called atactostele. By means several vascular bundles are arranged in scattered manner. Scattered manner, that is called atactostele. Given the example are here, monocotyledons, that is maize, sorghum, rice. Maize, sorghum and rice. Several vascular bundles are arranged in a ring-like structure or circular-like structure, that is called U-stele. But atactostele by means several vascular bundles are arranged in a scattered manner. In a scattered manner, that is called atactostele. And U-stele, that is conjoined. Conjoined. Several vascular bundles are arranged in ring-like structure, and one vascular bundle and another vascular bundle are attached to the cambium. Okay, now one vascular bundle and another vascular bundle are attached to the cambium. Collateral, one vascular bundle lateral side of the other vascular bundle, and open. A single vascular bundle consists of cambium below the xylem and above the phloem. That is open vascular bundle. Each vascular bundle mid of the cambium and below and above the xylem and phloem. That is called open vascular bundle. So cambium is present between of the xylem and phloem. Cambium is present between of the xylem and phloem. That is open vascular bundle. But here closed vascular bundle. Cambium is absent between of the xylem and phloem. That is closed vascular bundle. Closed vascular bundle. Okay, now next one here. Secondary growth occurs in roots and stems. Secondary growth occurs in roots and stems. In algae, in bryophytes, in pteridophytes, does not occur in secondary growth. Why? Because these are the smaller plants, especially lower plants. The plant size is mid of the size or shrubby size. But here in gymnosperms and angiosperms, the plant size or the stem size is very bigger or very taller. Why? Because the stem containing the secondary xylem and the secondary phloem. So hence in this time the width of the stem size, that is called the secondary growth. Primary growth are here or involved primary xylem and primary phloem, especially shown in smaller size of the plants, shrubs and herbs. But here secondary growth are involved secondary xylem and secondary phloem are seen in trees and mid of the trees and larger size of the trees. Why? Because secondary vessels are developed, secondary vascular tissues are developed. That is especially secondary xylem and secondary phloem are well developed. So in this time the root and the stem size is increased. So increasing of the width of the size, increasing of the width of the size, increasing of the width of the root size and increasing of the width of the stem size. That is called secondary growth. Okay, now secondary growth occurs in roots and stems. gymnospermic roots and gymnospermic stems are occurs in secondary growth. Why? Because secondary tissues are developed, that is secondary xylem and secondary phloem. But here in gymnosperms, so the vessels are totally absent in xylem components and component cells are totally absent in phloem. In phloem. Okay, no. So in generally the xylem containing four components. One is xylem vessels, second one is xylem tracheids, third one is xylem fibers, fourth one is xylem parenchyma. But here in gymnosperms, xylem vessels are totally absent, and phloem containing four components, that is sieve cells, sieve tubes, phloem fibers, phloem parenchyma. At the same time, component cells. But here in gymnosperms, the component cells are totally absent. Okay, now once again, in xylem the vessels are absent, in phloem the component cells are absent. The component cells are absent. Next, coming to the leaves may be simple or compound. Leaves may be simple or compound, but here in cycas the leaves are very restricted to few years. Especially in cycas the leaves are very restricted to few years. So in some conifers the needle-like leaves are to be appear, especially in conifers. So especially in conifers, that is pinus. The needle-like leaves are to be appeared. So the needle-like leaves is always to be able to reduce the surface area. In conifers, the needle-like leaves are to be appeared. These are helping in reduce to the surface area, and these are containing thick cuticle and sunken stomata. Thick cuticle and sunken stomata are always help in reducing the water loss. That is the importance of needle-like leaves. Needle-like leaves are present in conifers. These helps in reduce water loss, reduce the surface area, and these leaves containing thick cuticle and sunken stomata are also help in reduce the water loss. So this is about some characteristics in gymnosperms. Okay, now thank you.